Hello, everybody. This is Combat Sports Podcast, and we are back. Finally, a good card. UFC 316, Murad versus O'Malley. We're gonna break down the whole card here, but we're gonna start off with the early prelims today, and then tomorrow we're gonna do the main card. But this is a great card. The last two cards have been awful, so this should make up for it, and hopefully it delivers. I've been excited. I've been waiting for a good card. And we do have like two fighters in this card that were supposed to fight last week. I thought one of them was hurt or something. Guess not. He's fighting this week. And then the other one had a couple fighters that pulled out. Like one had pulled out 1 week, and the other one literally pulled out like 2 days before the fight. So I feel bad for him making up because the last card sucks. There was only 9 fights. The main card got canceled. The main event got canceled. So this guy's definitely probably happy that he got this card instead of last week's card. So let's move on here. We got the first fight of the night. We're going to start off with Marquel Mederos, 10-1, versus Mark the Shark Choinski, 8-0. We're going to start off with Mederos. He was supposed to be fighting last week, but I thought he was hurt or something. I did end up saying that it was due to an illness, so that sucks. He did do this before again in another fight. I think it was against like Evan Elder or something, which Evan Elder's a beast, and something happened. I'm not sure what happened there, but again, it was like a week, and then he got a week of fight later on that was a walk in the park. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it wasn't. Actually, it wasn't. It was against Austin Hubbard, and he won split decision. But we're not talking about that. Let's talk about how he started fighting in 2021, and then he lost a split decision in December 2022. Proceeded to win 8 in a row, 3-0 in the UFC. Had a knockout in the Dana White Contender Series. That is how he got into the UFC. He is a powerful man, great striking. He has like almost zero. Well, he went for 1 takedown, I think, versus Austin Hubbard. And then other than that, he stuffed the fuck out of him. Pretty sure he only got like 2 out of 9 takedowns on him. So he's pretty good at takedown defense. And he's going to have to do that again here versus Mark the Shark. Because this guy, no fucking picture or nothing, likes to drag people into the deep waters, submit him. This guy likes to wrestle. Started fighting pro in 2022. Former champ in the Anthony Pettis organization. Went 5-0. 1-0 in the LFA, UFC debut, good submission game, 5 subs, 1 knockout, and I thought Mederos was hurt, but no, it was illness, so he should be good, hopefully, unless he has the shits and he pulls out again. But he did have a tougher fight last week versus Oki. Oki is an animal. If you saw the fight last week, that was one of the good fights. Great striking, a whole bunch of significant strikes. Give it out for Michael Aswell that stepped in short notice and put on a banger. Didn't get knocked out. Surprised. Great fight. Got himself in the UFC. But we're not talking about Oki and him. Go look at the recap if you want to see my thoughts on them. But Mederos' takedown defense will get tested once again unless he catches Mark going in here. Because I don't know Mark's going through here. Let's go see if we can find out some more of stats over here. Okay, Mederos is taller. I don't know about lengths, but let's go see what Mark has been up to and when his fights were. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, he won a fight in March 23rd. Okay, right. Easy, nice and easy. Yeah, look at that. Okay, this dude's a beast in the ground. So yeah, he's gonna get. Hopefully Mederos doesn't get taken down, because if he does, this might be a prop where I just say fuck it and put in a submission prop for fucking Mark. Because I bet he's going to be a big underdog. Not that I got him winning. This is just out of nowhere if he gets a win. But this dude's good at grappling. Alright. But against, of course, no experience. Mederos does have a little bit better experience. Not so much either, but he does. I got Mederos winning here by knockout. If you want to spice it up a little bit, first round or second round, I'm going to go Mederos winning by finish. Maybe just money line, depending on the odds, which are probably going to be not that good. But I do got Mederos winning here by knockout. If you want to put that, maybe you want to spice it up, go for a first round knockout. If not, spice it up a little extra and go for a Mark Choinski submission prop. Because that dude, I don't know about Mederos' ground game. It might not be that good if he gets taken down, you know? But I wouldn't be betting on Mark. If you want to just go for a Hail Mary, I would go for Mark submissions. But I do got Mark Quell here winning by knockout. Let's move on to the next. Here we got Cullen Salkilld versus Yanel Red Fox Ashmouz, 8-1. Both of these fighters are 8-1. We're gonna start off with Quillin, 8-1. He is a champ of Eternal MMA. Went pro in 2021, fighting amateur since 2018. Only pro loss was his first fight ever. Got into the UFC by 2024 Dana White contender decision win. First fight in the UFC was UFC 312, and he got a knockout in 19 fucking seconds. I'm pretty sure he got Performance of the Night, his first fight ever. This dude is a beast. Look how long he is compared to the other guy. He isn't that tall compared to him, but look at that. Look at that reach. Just crazy. This dude is a UFC prospect. Dana White wants him to win this fight and wants him to move up. They want to move this guy into a star. But let's move on to Red Fox, Yanel over here. He is also 8-1. Fighting since 2017. He did win 6 in a row till he lost to Chris Duncan. I feel like I've talked about Chris Duncan in a few of my breakdowns because he's beat a lot of people that are coming up or prospects. But we're not talking about Chris Duncan. This guy is 2-1 in the UFC, 1-0 in the PFL, coming off decision win to Trevor Peek in September 2024. So I don't know how that's going to go. It's almost been a year, kind of, So let's see how he's doing there. Both of these guys are 8-1, so somebody will have to go 8-2. And I'm guessing it's probably going to be Yanel. But Yanel has a little bit better experience, but he's not as fast, and he doesn't have as good as takedowns as Quillin. Quillin is a beast, and he is just more grimy, and he's just faster. Great takedowns. If Yanel can stuff the takedowns and catch him, he might win that fight by that way. I don't see that really happening. Quillin is just a beast. His reach is so crazy compared to the other guy. And he's just the better grappler. I was like, maybe the other guy can take him down and all that. No. I think he's just better grappler. 100% takedown defense. And I'm guessing the odds are going to be like minus 400 Quillin and Yanel plus like 300, maybe 200. If not, I don't know. But this one's definitely going to be Quillin winning this. I want to say by decision. I'll have to debate this one. I got Quillin winning this. Young prospect here. And this dude can be a beast. He really hasn't been tested in the UFC. And his Dana White Contender Series he did. But then he got into the UFC. Got a 19-second knockout. Pretty sure it was like his first hit. Maybe like second. Don't even know if he got hit. So this is going to be his first actual test. Unless, guess what? He goes in there and does that shit again. Maybe bet a fucking under 60-second knockout on his ass. But I don't see Yanel getting finished here. His only loss is to a decision. So I don't see Yanel getting finished. But Quillin is strong. He might win this. And I'm just not going to say by what. But I got Quillin winning. Let's move on to the next one. Then we got Jika Sainteng Muat Saragih. I think it's like the desk kick or something like that in Indonesian. He is 14-4 versus Ju Sang Yu 8-0. Let's start off with Jika. He's been fighting since 2014, 11-2 and 1 pride. Did fight for the belt but lost. Coming off a sub loss to Weston Wilson, who is that guy? No, I'm just kidding. You know about him. He kind of know about him, but you don't. He hasn't fought since Jika, so it's been a little bit, but we're not talking about him. We're talking about Jika here. He has 9 knockouts, 4 submissions, and he has great power, has some good striking, and he can also go for some takedowns and get him, but he's coming off a loss to submission, so let's see how that goes. There's no stats for these guys up on the UFC here, so we'll have to go do a little bit of digging here. But let's talk about Sang Yu. Sang Yu has been fighting since 2021, 4-0 in the AFC, UFC debut, coming off KO win in the CFN, 3 knockouts, 1 sub, 4 decision. His competition in the AFC isn't so good. I seen another guy in the PFL was watching, and their competition, the reffing's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't really see the competition over there. But, I mean, they've gone pro, so let's see how this goes. He likes to win by decision. He's good at mixing it up, great at striking, good at takedowns. Jika has been submitted 3 times. Does get takedowns when he goes for them. Coming off the sub, like I said, that might affect him. Might play a little bit in the back of his head. who is taller? I don't know the lengths here. He's a little bit shorter. I don't know about reach, but I know Jika has more power. Singyu is quicker than him, has nicer striking, but I feel like he can get caught by Jika going in for an exchange or even going in for a takedown. This will be his hardest matchup, I think. The odds say otherwise, but I don't know. I think this is going to be Singyu's hardest matchup. And I think I got Jika here. He's going to win this by knockout. The thing I see here is Singyu goes for takedowns, gets them, but he doesn't go for submissions really. He only has one submission win, and I don't see him getting a submission win here. If Jika's going to win, though, I think he's going to get it done in the first or the second. Otherwise, Singyu is probably going to win by decision. But I'm going to go for a big underdog here. I got Jika winning by KO. Let's move on to the next women's fight of the night. Ariane, Queen of Violence, Del Silva, 17-10. I don't see the violence there because she's lost 10 times. And she doesn't even have that many knockouts. 6 of them. Either way. Versus Cong, the Joker. She's 7-1. 7-1. But I say she's a fraud. I remember watching the fight where she fought in China and she got fraud checked by Gabriela. I'll talk about it more when I break her down. But let's start off with De Silva. She's been fighting since 2013. 5-0 in KSW and was the champ for a bit. 6-7 in the UFC, so that hasn't been going so well. Started in 2018, coming off 2 losses in a row. Last one was Jasmine Jasdavicius. She has 6 knockouts, 4 subs. Let's move on to the Joker. She's been fighting since 2010. Started fighting with kickboxing. She's from road to the UFC. She's 2-1 in the UFC, not including the road to UFC wins. She was fraud checked when she fought Gabriela in her hometown, China. She was like a minus, 1,000 or something, 600 odds. Has to be one of the biggest upsets last year. She lost to a submission. If anyone called that, congrats to you guys. But I remember watching that fight. I was literally at work watching that fight. Fraud checked. It was 5 a.m. It started at like 5 a.m., 3 a.m. I don't even know. It was some crazy time because it was in China. She is coming off a win to Bruna. Either way, I think De Silva does have power. If she grappled, she could cause problems. Cong did get upset with the grappling, and she was submitted. But De Silva has lost 10 times and is 6-7 in the UFC. She has not been doing so well. Not so much violence in her name. I say Kong's faster, better, and she's just overall better at grappling, everything. She's supposed to be a prospect. She did get fraud checked once. She could get fraud checked again, but I don't see it. I have Cong winning here, maybe by a finish. If not, just flat out Cong. I bet she's a big favorite, so let's hope she doesn't mess this shit up again. I got the Joker here. Oh, don't get me started with her fucking face that she wears in the weigh-ins and all that. Just, go out there and win, Wongi. Come on. Let's go on to the next. Next, we got Chaos, the Ox Fighter Williams. This dude has a fucking amazing name. Love his name, Chaos. He's 15-4. Versus Andres Bane Gustafsson, 11-2. Let's talk a little bit about Chaos over here. He's been fighting since 2014. This includes his amateur fights, so he has quite a bit of those. Went pro in 2017. 3-0 in King of the Cage. 6-3 in UFC. This dude has power. He has 8 knockouts with 7 first-round finishes. That is crazy. He's only been finished once, and he is coming off that finish against a sub. Last fight he had. Let's move on to Gustafsson. Gustafsson is 11-2, 8 knockouts, 5 submissions. Poor dude has had 2 fights canceled on him within the last week. He had a fight scheduled last week, got canceled a week before the fight. Then he got it rescheduled, and it got canceled the day of the weigh-ins because the other dude fell on his head or something while cutting weight. So this dude has just had bad luck. He has had other multiple fights cancellations. So hopefully this one stays. He's been fighting since 2016, has a lot of amateur fights too. Went pro in 2019, got a knockout win in the Dana White Contender Series. First UFC fight right here versus Chaos. Like I said, he was supposed to fight last weekend, but his opponents pulled out or got injured. I say this is a tougher fight than he was going to get because the other guy can bang it. But Gustafsson has power. He's great in the clinch, nasty elbows and knees. 3-fight win streak. Seems to have a lot of canceled fights. Is that just bad luck? Who knows? Both have been scheduled to fight someone else. Like I said, I didn't mention Chaos, but he was scheduled to fight somebody else. He did pull out, so now they put this fight together. If I was Gustafsson, I would be so happy I wasn't in last week's card because that sucked. Absolute balls. But either way, he's probably happy to be here, I would say. His opponent is harder. These guys are both powerful. This should be a banger. Williams does have a longer reach by a little bit. Let's see if we can pull it up here. Yeah, oh, not by a little bit. Holy shit. 5 inches. 4 inches and a half. That's crazy. That might affect it a little bit, but if it gets in the clinch, that is going to be a problem. Andres is a better grappler, I would say, Andres is a way better grappler. The other dude barely gets takedowns. I'm pretty sure it's like 0 for something. It's terrible. I'll see if we can pull it up over here. I just know he has 0 landed takedowns, so he's not a grappler, so he better stay standing up. This guy should stay out of the clinch. I'm telling you, when Gustafsson lands, he lands. Williams with 7 finishes in the first round is kind of scary, but like I said, 0 takedowns compared to a dude that's really good at grappling. Well, not really good, but he can definitely grapple, clinch with you, and knee you, elbow you. It's going to be a problem. I say Williams' weakest part is his ground game. Needs to stay standing, not get taken down, not get put up against the cage. There's a lot of things he has to worry about, and probably in the back of his head. I got Gustafsson here by decision or maybe a submission. This is his UFC debut. Let's see how the stars shine, you know. It's going to be a lot of people there. Definitely way more people than there would have been at the Apex. So, see how that affects him. And up next, we got a heavyweight bout here. This is my first heavyweight breakdown. It has been 3 weeks since the last time I saw a heavyweight bout, because there wasn't one in the Burns vs. Morales card. There wasn't one in the week after that, of course, because there wasn't UFC. And then there wasn't one last week. So, this is my first one. I'm excited to get to see these big boys go again. I don't know why they haven't been calling John Jones out. Like, the only guy talking is fucking Tom Aspinall. Come on, I get John Jones holding up the division. It sucks. Do something. Come on, Dana. You're just watching this shit happen. Speed it up a little bit. But I kind of low-key think Dana White and the UFC know what's going on. They're just making this shit and dragging this shit on. But let's start off with breaking down this heavyweight bout. Sergey Polar Bear versus Waldo Salsa Boy Cortes-Acosta. 13-1, and then we're gonna go off here with Sergey, 17-5, fighting since 2014, 6-0 in the WWFC, 8-5 in the UFC. Great competition. This dude's competition has been top notch. He's coming off a loss to Jonathan Almeida, which I really think he can be the champ. Look at this guy. Like, he's beat so many good people, and he's only really lost. Look how lost to the greats, and he literally came back and beat the same guy that beat him. Yeah, this guy's good. This guy's good for a heavyweight. He can wrestle. He can do a lot. This dude's a beast. Like I said, he's coming off a loss to Jonathan Almeida, which I really think that Almeida could be a champion, but really boring champion. He's really good at wrestling, especially if you're good at wrestling in the heavyweight. You're not getting up, big boys. They weigh like, what, 260, 261? Yeah, look at this shit. But like I'm telling you, this guy is great at wrestling. He has 7 knockouts, 8 submissions, so you can just tell that this dude's grappling. Averages like 3 to 4 takedowns a match. Let's get on here, talk about Waldo. He is 13-1, like I said, fighting pro since 2018. Started boxing first till 2021, got into the UFC. He got a KO in the Dana White Contender Series. That is how he got in. He's 1-0 in Bellator, 2-0 in the LFA. He beat Thomas Peterson in that for the belt. 6-1 in the UFC. He is a great striker. Can wrestle when he needs to, but as a heavyweight, does it really matter? Because if you get one takedown, the other guy's probably not getting up that whole round. And if he does, you're gonna be out of breath. Waldo is a little heavier, so he's gonna be hard for him to get up. Only a pound heavier, so. But look at this grappling difference. Like, look at that shit. It's crazy. But these are going to be big boys going at it. I love Sergey. Great. He's well-rounded. But he is 1-2 in his last 3 fights. He's coming off a loss. That might affect his brain a little bit, his mindset, you know how he's doing. But this guy, he could be a champion too. He's like 2-3 fights away from being a champ. but so is everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Waldo has great hands. He is on fire. He can't get takedown, and he has stuffed a lot of takedowns. The last time he got taken down was in 2023, which was when he lost his fight in split decision or unanimous decision. But that was his only loss in the UFC. He's going to need to stuff some takedowns here. And if this goes over 1.5 rounds, I bet Waldo will get this finish. Well, I mean, will get the win because he's a decision fighter, which is rare for me to see a heavyweight that likes to go to decision. Most of this guy's fights go to decision, which is kind of crazy. Let's see. Look at the percentage over here. See if we can, almost half of his fights go. That's crazy for a heavyweight. If you really think about that. But like I said, he hasn't been taken down since 2023. But I do really think that Saragih knows what to do here. He can stand up with him. I think Saragih can hold his own in the striking, but he really shouldn't against a boxer, of course. Go for the takedown. Stick what you're good at. This was a really, really, really hard fight for me to pick because these are heavyweights. Anyone can get caught any moment. Literally, anyone can get caught any moment. And Saragih can get a good positioning on the ground and finish it. I wonder what the odds are going to be for decision. For a decision here for either of these guys. But this was a really, really hard choice for me. Holy shit. It was like a coin toss. I've been debating on this. On one thing I had Spivac winning. On the other I had Waldo winning. This is really up in the air for me. But I really think Saragih can take down his power. His power is enough where he can stand up, strike with him. Hopefully he doesn't get caught. This dude's reach is so much longer compared to Waldo. Let's see if we can go see that over here. Yeah, look at that. 8 inches. I think that's going to affect it a little bit. That means he can keep his distance, strike, and then he can go in for takedowns, which he's really good at. I could either see this being a really boring fight because Spivac is just going to take him down, and he doesn't have, how many submissions? Let's go see his percentage over here. Oh, okay. What did I say? 8 submissions. So he could get us submissions here. I'm a dumbass. How did I forget that? But yeah, he has 8 submissions. So he could get a submission win here, take him down. I'm going to go with Spivac winning here. And like I said, it's going to either be a really boring fight. But if you also want to go for a big bet, go for Waldo Costa winning by knockout. This is a short notice fight for Waldo. He was stepping in for, who was it? I forgot who he was stepping in for. But Saragih was supposed to fight somebody else. The dude got injured. Now Waldo's in. So this is kind of a short notice fight. Either way, I got Saragih winning. Competition is better. And Waldo, all he can do is really strike. I feel like he's going to get taken down and lose here. Let's move on to the next. Here we got a great fight that should deliver. We got Azamat, the professional, Murzakanov versus Brenson, the Gorilla, Ribeiro, 17-7. Azamat is 14-0. I didn't even have to say that. This dude is a beast. Both of these guys have power in their hands. I got a lot to say about this kind of. It's going to be a good fight. The odds don't say they are, but I really got something that can cook up here. We got Azamat fighting since 2010. He has never lost. Got into the UFC in 2021 by a Dana White win knockout. He's coming off a knockout win to Alonzo Minfield. 10 knockouts, 1 submission. This dude is a tank. Look at this dude's body. The dad bod on this guy is wild. I don't understand. It's crazy to me. If I look at this guy at, what is he, 36? Let's go see if we can. How old is this guy? 36. I'm like, no, this guy ain't gonna knock no one out. This dude's got fucking bombs in his hands. But let's go on and talk about the Gorilla, Ribeiro. Let's talk about the Gorilla, Ribeiro. He is stepping in for Johnny Walker. Oh, man, they saved Johnny Walker, and they set up Johnny Walker again. I don't know what the UFC is doing. I didn't even know that. I did know he was going to verse this guy, but I didn't really know much about this guy like that. I saw that they were trying to take Johnny Walker's head off, just like they're going to take Johnny Walker's head off in China versus Zhang Ming. God, they're setting that dude up. But let's keep talking about Ribeiro over here. He is stepping in, short notice. He's been fighting since 2015, beat Bruno Lopez in the Dana White Contender Series to get in 2023. I actually talked about that last fight. This dude, grenades in his hands, bombs, 2-2 in the UFC. He's on a 2-fight win streak, 9 knockouts, 7 submission. That is what he needs to do here, I feel like, because he has been knocked out before. He's been KO'd 3 times. He will need to grapple, I feel like, if he wants to get this win. And the odds are saying that he's going to try to probably stand up and get knocked out. And Ribeiro is the taller, the longer, and the younger fighter. By like 8 years, he's younger. He's longer by 10 inches. And then he is taller by 4 inches. Like, this is crazy. He is a big underdog. But I really feel like he can get this done if he uses his grappling. This dude has 11 finishes in the first round. Don't get me wrong. Azamat has what, like 10 knockouts and 8 in the first round? That's crazy. This dude has bombs in his hands, like I've been telling you. But he is only 1 of 13 on takedowns. Is that his weakness? It might be. It might be. He has fought people like Dustin Jacoby, which is similar heights to Ribeiro and probably pretty similar lengths. Maybe not as long, but definitely pretty similar heights. So that means he can go out there and get it done. Like, it doesn't matter if the other guy's taller or not. He's proven to show what he can do. And I'm pretty sure he knocked him out. Let's go see over here if he did. Nope, decision. Okay, so maybe it could go to decision, but no, I don't really see it going to decision. I got Ribeiro here winning in between the distance, because if it doesn't, he's going to get tired. But I really feel like he's going to have to put his grappling here. Call me crazy, but if Ribeiro sticks to the game plan, which should be grappling, doesn't stand up with this guy, he can handle himself, I bet, because he is younger. He might be stronger. These numbers might be off just because he's probably... Azamat has probably been doing this for a while. But 36-year-old, he did come off. He was out for a while. I don't know. I really feel like Ribeiro can get this done. The odds have been kind of crazy for these fights. They've all been like lopsided. At the end of the fight, I'll go talk about all the odds. But from all the fights I've seen, there's like 2 fights that are pretty close in the prelims. And we're going to go off to the next one. And the odds on that one are pretty crazy too. But I'm calling it right now. I got Ribeiro. Let's see what happens here. And then finally, for the early prelims, then tomorrow we'll do the pay-per-view main card. Here is the prelim main. We got Bruno Bulldog Silva, 14-6-2 draws, versus Joshua the Fearless Man, 13-2. Let's start off with Silva here. He's been fighting since 2011. He started off with some kickboxing, 4-3 in the UFC, has won no contests, 6 knockouts, 4 submissions, coming off a loss to Manel Cape by knockout. This dude has a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He better put it to use, but his black belt, I don't know how he got it. This dude is like 2 for 40 on takedown attempts in the UFC. It's awful. But let's move on to Joshua the Fearless Man. Started fighting pro since 2021. This is just crazy. I'm just thinking about this. The main card, the early prelims, the odds are just all one-sided. After this breakdown, I'll scroll down and just the odds are crazy. This Joshua is 7-1 in Fury, was the champ, 6-1 in the UFC. Only loss in the UFC is to Charles Johnson, which is really long, and he's pretty quick too. He's coming off a great win to an undefeated fighter. He's not undefeated no more. This dude is running a 3-fight win streak, 6 knockouts, 2 subs, rest are decision. This dude is really, really fast. Van is the youngest fighter of this card. I thought Quillian was at 25. No, this dude is like, 23 years old? Let's go see over here if we can pull it up. Yeah, he is 23 years old. He's slightly taller and has a smaller reach by just a little bit. If fucking Bruno's going to win here, he better get his black belt to use and he better start grappling. But with his takedown attempts I've seen, it's not so good. Let's go see his percentage on takedown. 25% takedown accuracy. That is terrible. And then you look at Joshua Van's takedown defense. It's great. It's just a one-sided fight. Maybe Bruno has a little bit more power than him, but he's definitely not faster than him. He's definitely better at him at grappling, I guess, if even so. He just has to get it down there, but I don't see that happening with Joshua Van. He just has great defense. He just gets up right away, even if he gets taken down, like I said, gets up right away. If it's just standing up, Joshua Van's just going to evaporate this guy and just in there. If he keeps the pressure on, and just with the speed, it's crazy. I bet Bruno can be very dangerous on the ground if he takes him down, but with all that being said, Van's speed and his defense, even his stand-up defense, his takedown defense, his all-rounded defense is great. The speed, I think he can win by a knockout, if not by decision. But either way, I got Van winning here. And tomorrow we're going to break down the main card. Let's go see my overall picks here. And let's go look at these terrible one-sided fights odds that they have here. Like, look at this one. Quillian, minus 454. That's crazy. Minus 455. That's crazy to me. I got Quillian winning here. I got Jico winning here. He's a big-ass underdog, too. We'll go check out Tapology here and see if we can pull up the odds. Cong winning. She's a big fucking favorite. Marquez is a big-ass favorite. Gustafsson's an underdog, actually. Chaos. This is a pretty even fight, I guess. Not even. I feel like he's still, like minus 200. He's like a plus 160. This is probably the closest fight of the early prelims and prelims. This is probably like plus, 150 maybe for Spivac and minus, plus 150 for Waldo and like minus 125 for Spivac or something. This one's a one-sided fight. I do got the upset here. I bet he's like minus 400, 350. And then just look at this one. This is like the biggest one. Van, like I said, I don't really see how Bruno Silva is going to do anything here. I got Van winning, like I already said. And, yep, that's it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Stay tuned. We'll do the main card tomorrow. Let's go. Let's make some money. Friday, I'll upload some stuff on my X and all that. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Stay tuned for more.